Hey y'all, we are back with another dense update. This update is sponsored by Biomax Peptides and Herd Athletics. Here we go. A new Road to the Games is out with Danielle Brandon and Annika Greer, and a lot of people were asking, are we going to see Gooch in this? Yes, we did. And Danielle Brandon did in fact go to the Morgan Wallen concert, just not with Torres. The WFP is putting out more content that nobody wants to watch, but at least we have Andrew Hiller to put out his videos with athletes, and Sevan's racking up quite the list of games athletes on his show every morning. Dave Castro put out another weekend review. Not much new on that front. All the rumors around the sale of CrossFit is getting quite confusing. There's always tons to talk about. Let's get into it. Sevan recently had Olivia Kerstetter and Ariel Lowen on his morning podcast.
Nervous today. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
Really?
Oh,
Why
yeah,
are you
very
nervous?
nervous. Because after what happened with Lazar and you and I are friends, and I like you a lot, and I like Dylan a lot. And then after the Lazar Jukic incident, I know that you were not happy with how that unfolded. And I know that I was very defensive of my friend Dave, and this is the first time we've talked.
I really like the conversation with Ariel. I like that they literally just got straight to it. Very much like any one of us would have a conversation face to face if we had an issue with someone. So he asks her about her decision to compete in the CrossFit Games season this year, because leading up to it, a lot of people were really unsure. She had posted several things on her Instagram, saying like, if I never compete in the CrossFit Games again, it'll be fine. She talks a little bit about that.
I was waiting for like CrossFit to come clean. I was waiting for CrossFit to say something, because basically I was like, hey, I withdrew. I haven't heard from CrossFit since. Let's see what they come out with to hopefully make me feel more at peace, make me feel better.
And for a lot of these athletes, it stems around how last year's CrossFit Games was handled. Everyone blamed Dave, right? He was the one that took the bullet. He was the one that put himself out there forward facing and was used as a punching bag by all of these athletes. And Scott Schweitzer was talking about this on his podcast.
Their hate at Dave. When you were interviewing Ariel and she's talking about how Luca got put on the broadcast when he didn't want to be, Dave isn't the director of the broadcast, yet they're blaming Dave for that. The people at CrossFit made him the scapegoat, and he played the part well. And he's the only one to apologize for anything that happened last year.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to speak more, but tonight, this is it. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
Yet you have all these haters coming after him when he was just a small part of the whole thing. It's insane.
And when they wanted someone burned at the stake, they chose him. And it just really sucks that everyone was so quick to point the finger at him and treat him the way that they did. I mean, honestly, I think they all owe him an apology. But I do think it's great that these athletes are sitting down and having these conversations, whether we agree with what they say or not. They're putting themselves out there to the fans and to the community so that we can hear how they felt, instead of just posts on Instagram and cryptic messages or 7 slides of a handful of athletes who are just, I'm out, because they're taking a stand. Now, the new thing that came out of that tragedy being the World Fitness Project, which we can all agree was less than classy timing, and everything they've done since the beginning has been super shady. They say they can do it better. They say they want to tell more stories, but they're not really doing that, are they? Nothing they've done from a media standpoint has been any different or any better than what we've seen from the CrossFit Games. In fact, it's worse. It's super cheesy. It's fake. It's kindergarten questions.
And I don't really understand what any of her purpose is either. And the reason that you can't really ever put your thumb on anything is because they're so far apart from Ty Jenkins, where Ty is just like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and then you can start to get behind it. And what Saxon is doing here is he's telling you, we're going to tell your story. We want to tell your stories. We're going to tell all of the athletes' stories. And they're going to do them in this way that is so entirely undigestible.
The World Fitness Project has a new podcast now with Saxon Panchek, and it was basically an hour of wasted time for me. It was just so hard to watch. She's paying to make friends. She's paying to be in this new sorority. She paid $2,000 just so she could have a seat at the table and sit on Zoom calls so they would listen to her recommendations and her opinions on things.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going because there's not a very clear direct path on everything with World Fitness Project on the affiliate side, especially when I signed on, because, hey, first one.
You just want to be known as the first of the founding 50 in case this thing ever takes off and goes somewhere. It's like, I mean, she's also working for WFP and running their athlete control. She wants to have her hand in everything. She wants to be a part of the games and CrossFit still, but she also wants to be a part of the WFP. But they don't even talk about what it is or what it means to be a World Fitness Project gym. They don't talk about what they offer affiliates. They don't talk about the value that they bring. Saxon does say something in there like, we want to bring traffic to the gym. That's why we started these rec leagues. Last time I checked the rec league leaderboard, none of Maggie's members of her gym were even signed up for the thing. There's 5 teams, 2 pairs, a trio, and then some individuals. 21 people so far have joined the rec league. People want to compete more throughout the season, do they? Towards the end, it was so bad. It felt like she was trying to convince people how great Saxon and the team was, and it just seemed very inauthentic. Best content they've put out so far, I would have to say, was the Danielle Brandon, Patrick Vellner video. And that was done by the Buttery Bros. It's the same stuff we've seen. Now, speaking of Danielle Brandon, CrossFit Games YouTube channel put out a new Road to the Games episode with Danielle and Annika Greer. And a lot of people were asking, are we going to see Gooch in that? And yes, Gooch was in it. Several times, in fact. I noticed that he was next to her when she was training in the gym. He was with her at the dog park, and he's kind of out of focus behind her, but that's clearly him.
You're being bad. You see him just straight up piss in the water bowl?
Danielle and Gooch were writing our song.
And then Danielle has what she calls a dinner party at her house with some friends, and a couple shows up, and then it's just 4 people at the dinner table and the camera guy. And they never really show Gooch's face, except you can see him in that large mirror that's right in front of her dinner table on the wall there. So to me, it's not really a dinner party. It's more like a double date. And I'm sure, as all of you saw, she did end up going to the Morgan Wallen concert in Miami. Maybe she had tickets before. Maybe she was able to buy the tickets off Torres, or maybe he gave them to her just trying to say sorry for the TikTok that he put up. Now, she also recently switched camps yet again, just 3 weeks ahead of the CrossFit Games. In an article by Morning Chalk Up, it states that Danielle stepped away from Coach L of Brute. And so now for the CrossFit Games, she's going to be coached by Adam Neefer and Jesse Buffano, the same people that coach Justin Medeiros.
So 1 year she left or got booted out of the dog fit. Then another year she did the COVID thing, and then this year she's doing the boyfriend scandal, all right before the games or during the games.
Yeah, I mean, this is really close to the games. I feel like the underdog one was like 2 or 3 months prior to the games. This is 3 weeks prior to the games.
In fact, Danielle put this up on her story. It seems like she's so bothered by the fact that people talk about her personal life.
Oh, she's professional. Treat her like a professional. Since when did my personal life have anything to do with my profession? I do fitness. I do CrossFit. Let's focus on that. Anything that I share outside of fitness and CrossFit is a freaking privilege. It's a privilege that we get to see other people's lives on this app. And just because I'm a professional, I didn't know treating professionals was caring about their love life and all these other things. I'm not keeping up with the Kardashians.
I can really explain it is that she's obsessed with Love Island. I see these stories of her watching the show, giving her thoughts, giving her opinions on the people on the show or things going on between those people. And I'm sitting here thinking, Danielle, how do you not understand that the way you feel about that show and those people and what's going on with their personal life is the exact same way that people feel about you? Put yourself out there on a public platform, Kardashian or not, Conor McGregor or not, people are going to be interested to know anything and everything they can about you. And it's not by accident. You opened the door for that. Honey, you are the Kardashians of the CrossFit community. And the fact that you don't see that is just crazy to me. Now, the sale is on, the sale is off, the announcement's tomorrow. No, the announcement's not for a couple of months. This is a roller coaster of rumors and speculation around the sale of CrossFit, you guys. Now, the rumored new owner, Malik, did meet with Dave in New York while he was there. And Dave had posted the Move Max, which is a free programming on the Hustle Up app run by Malik. He's featured in a lot of the Instagram posts on that page. And since then, he's been reaching out to people in the community. He had this sneaky little tag, relaxing after meetings in hotels and travel. And I almost didn't catch it at first, but then when I tapped on it, Sevan popped up. Sevan did say there are rumors of things moving around at CrossFit. Not really sure what that means. He said it was not his information to disclose.
There has been some movement, and there are some things happening that are more than rumors. Not my place to say, not my intel, but it's making its way around.
Could that be the article that the Barbell Spin's holding on to? Andrew Hiller put up this post about Don Fall and his legacy. Does that mean that he's getting fired? Does that mean that he's out the door? Then he posted this telling people to connect the dots with the Move Max. I mean, we only know what we know. And when we'll know, you'll know. Move Max did put up a series of polling the community. They had this to say about High Rocks, that it's essentially just a benchmark workout, which I totally agree. But then they talk about the World Fitness Project.
Promising initiative, but it's a beautiful concept, yes, but it will never have the experience or legacy of the CrossFit Games.
I agree.
Totally agree. No organization can truly match what the CrossFit Games have built over the years. I'm deeply saddened to see the launch of WFP associated with a tragedy. This kind of opportunism, intentional or not, risks dividing our community instead of uniting it.
Which is done. Instead of uniting it.
I still wish them strength in their journey, but I sincerely encourage them to remain within the CrossFit family.
I just got a very interesting text message. Ears must have been burning. Before you do anything else, go over to Mason Startup's YouTube channel. He just put out a video ranking the physiques of the male CrossFit Games athletes this year. It's a pretty good one. Will he do the females? We shall see.
That dense bitch?